Next up on stage, we welcome VisitScotland's Director of Events, Bush OBE, who will deliver the opening remarks. Please give a very warm welcome to Bush.
Good morning. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Cabinet Secretary, for your insightful words. I've had the privilege of working with Fiona for about a decade now, and it's not very often that you get a Cabinet Secretary that is so passionate about a subject matter. So it's always a joy and a privilege to share a platform with you, but also work with you. As Fiona says, we've got much to look forward to over the next decade. And speaking of celebration, I'd like to take this moment before we start to share a short video looking back at the last 15 years and since EventScotland was established. I'm particularly proud of what you have all achieved over this time, delivering some of the world's biggest events and great community events, which I think are the foundation and cornerstone of what we do in Scotland. So I hope, like me, you'll enjoy looking back at some of the great moments of the last 15 years. So pretty special, and to be honest, without all of you in this room today and many others outside of this room, none of that would have happened. So thank you, very sincerely. So a very warm welcome to our 6th National Events Conference, returning to Gleneagles for the 2nd time. This week will also be historic. Gleneagles becomes the first ever European venue to host the Ryder Cup and Solheim Cup. Thanks to Conor O'Leary and David Kemp and all their team at this magnificent world-class venue for their support. And let's hope on Sunday evening, I'm going ahead of myself, we see our own Katrina Matthew from North Berwick lifting the trophy on Sunday night. I might add, as Fiona said last time Europe one was in Scotland was at the Bonnybanks of Loch Lomond, and Scotland has hosted now 3 Solheim Cups, and Europe have never lost yet. So here we go. So I'm just going to put some thoughts in your mind ahead of Bruce's piece and also some of the other speakers this morning in terms of what will the landscape look like in 2030. I'd like you to take a minute, think back, digest what has changed in the last 11 years. Hopefully the video helped and is a little prompt. Now take a minute and think about what it will look like 11 years from now. It will be a very different landscape. So today's conference theme of embracing innovation and delivering change will be even more important to our industry in an ever-changing, dynamic, and at times unpredictable world. As we've seen and can see on the slide, Scotland's achieved much over the last 15 years since the inception of a national events strategy. And the outcomes are indeed impressive and well known to all of you here today. However, I would challenge that there are an increasing number of macro threats that we need to be aware of, alongside the many opportunities we have both as an industry and as a society. Threats, challenges, and in some cases opportunities we are facing include: is there a saturation in the tourism market? Public referendums on holding events? Climate change? Sustainability? Player-athlete autonomy? Swimming has been a great example recently where they've set up their own structure driven by athletes. Is there a saturation of products? There are now less music festivals in Scotland than there were 10 years ago. Attendee engagement. The traditional spectator and fan, are they disenfranchised and no longer engaged? There is, without doubt, for all of us, increasing pressure on budgets and sponsorship. And is the event proposition and their benefits clear, or is it poorly articulated and unclear? Fake news, lots of that across the pond. And of course, we've all faced some challenges around compliance laws, GDPR, and the whole trust debate. In Scotland, we have some specific challenges, but also opportunities. Our infrastructure needs to continue to improve to meet the demand. Wi-Fi, the Cabinet Sec didn't talk about it, but there's been some great announcements last week around North Coast 500 and some of the specific points where Wi-Fi and 4G will be more enabled for tourists. Do we have too many events? Question. And the debate between residents, tourists, and spectators, which is emerging all the time. However, I also think there are some huge opportunities, and we need to stay alert and we need to stay focused. We should be engaging more with an aging population. Equality, diversity, and the LGBT agenda is really important now. Families, young people, and disadvantaged groups. Digital transformation in all forms. Is linear TV dead? Pay on demand, online streaming. It's interesting that the US Open tennis final this weekend was on Amazon Prime Video channel. How many of you have heard of that 5 years ago? And to be honest, fan experience is now king. User-generated content, and we need to think very carefully about how we link events to the wider policy agenda, which is the theme of today's conference. And where do esports fit, if they fit at all? So all of this has led me to a clear belief that the current events model measured against traditional impacts is outdated, outmoded, and indeed, if we continue down this track, will put our industry at risk. We'll hear from a number of speakers this morning on how to link the policy impact agenda of both the public and private sector. This must be embraced as budgets are increasingly challenged in all sectors. Indeed, in the commercial world, bespoke policy or impact-driven events linked to either company corporate objectives or the CSR agenda present some emerging and exciting opportunities. It will be important for all of us to consider how future major events fit into this agenda. This slide shows the Scottish Government framework. How many of you have seen that? Probably not many in the room. I strongly believe that compared to other sectors, events can deliver against many of those objectives positively and ensure increased well-being through sustainable and inclusive economic growth. So in the future, in designing your event or bid, consider how it would unlock funding from the non-traditional portfolios. Considerations should include impacts on protecting the environment. We're all now facing a climate emergency. And there's a juxtaposition there with events by its pure definition and nature. So some examples, the lack of plastic water bottles at the recent Men's Scottish Open at Renaissance. The bibs that the caddies will wear this week are made with recyclable ocean plastics. And actually, they were half the price of normal material, which is quite an interesting fact. Healthy and active lifestyles, along with the NHS to help tackle Scotland's health challenges. The Women in Golf Girl Hubs is a great example of that. An investment from Scottish Government into Scottish golf to introduce women and girls to the game. In closing, I believe Scotland's events industry is in a great shape. However, we need to evolve and innovate to stay relevant. Our communities are critical to us. This weekend, we had phenomenal crowds at the Tour of Britain in Kelso. We need to ensure that we've got a safe society. And one of the great examples, which the Cabinet Secretary referred to last year in terms of the Year of Young People, was the National Theatre of Scotland's Future Proof Festival, which was held at Her Majesty's Young Offenders Institute, Polmont, where they put a theatre into a Young Offenders Institute. A really successful production of motion. Education and skills. We need to celebrate our diverse cultures. And innovation and business. So, in conclusion, collectively and working in partnership, we will need to be even more agile, smart, and brave. And in particular, how we report, which you'll see on this slide, against the 360-degree impact model will be critical for our future salvation. However, we must, as a nation and an industry, continue to take risk, be aspirational, and if we are truly to retain our position as a nation envied throughout the world, ensure that in the future we have transformational behavioural change around our events that are embedded into society. So before I leave you and hand over to Bruce, one special thing that we've managed to pull off today is that in the closing session, I'm delighted to say that we've got the two captains of the teams this week who will join us at 4:10. So I would urge you to stay around for that. Katrina Matthew, Julie Inkster will be here with Emma for a Q&A session down on the course. Quite unique, so don't miss that. But it's now my great privilege to hand over to a very good friend and colleague, Mr. Bruce Stewart.